Hello again and welcome to G Squared. Today I want to talk to you about how to study effectively. Now in a previous video I told you or explained to you that you should be studying for 10 to 15 minutes at a time. I didn't tell you what you should be doing during that time, and that is the purpose of today's video. Today I'm going to tell you what you should be doing in that time in order to ace your exams and to get the very best out of studying. Now I have devised 7 tips for you that will be very helpful in achieving this goal. And as you can see, my 7 tips are on the board. Now tip number 1 is that you must practice. Practice, practice, practice. Hey, they say practice makes perfect. But I say practice makes better because, perfection is very difficult to attain. Or maybe even impossible. But anyway, practice, practice, practice. That is the important thing. Now, if it is that you're doing any reading-based subjects, like history or philosophy, English literature, where you have to be reading poems and reading literature books, for example, it may help you to write a summary of a chapter or a passage. You just read through, you get an idea, feel of what's going on, and you write a summary based on what you understand. This will help you because you're able then to put things in your own words, so to speak. Alright, so that's a part of practice. The second thing that you want to do is that you want to do timed writing. Now let's say your exam is 1 hour. What you're going to do is you're going to sit down for 1 hour and you time yourself doing the exam. Whatever it is that you're going to be doing in the exam, whether it is writing or reading or doing any vocab work, it doesn't matter. Make sure you sit down for the 1 hour and you time yourself getting that information down. Alright, so that's an effective way of making sure you're getting the time in for your exam. Now on the practice as well, we have drawing and annotating. If you're a biology student or if you're a student who is involved in any artistic thing, then a part of studying for your exam definitely must involve drawing. You must draw things. And not just draw the things, but you must also annotate. But why is it important to annotate? When you annotate your drawing, what you're basically doing is explaining the functions of the parts. And when you have explained the functions of the parts of the system, for example, like the nephron or the excretory system, then you're able to see everything working together as a whole. And then you're able to see your entire studies as a story. And that will help you in the long run. Alright? So then now we have solving equations or problems. This mostly has to do with math or physics and chemistry, where you have anything which is mathematical, really. What you're going to be doing here is you practice a question. You spend time doing things like that. I remember when I was doing retrosynthetic analysis, which is something in organic chemistry at university, my friend saw me working questions, and I was there working for a little while, I thought. And when he came back, I said to him, hey, you come back quickly, and he said, I've been there for 2 hours doing my practicing. So, you practice your questions, you practice. Because practicing your questions will make you better able to see how questions will be in your exams. Alright, so that's number 1, practice. Practice is important. Number 2 now, read and share. Okay, so you read through your notes, you read through the information wherever you're getting it, whatever that source is. After you've read through it and you have interacted with the information several times, what you do is now you share it. Share it with someone. Share it with a family friend. Share it with your friends. You can share it with yourself. Go in front of a mirror, talk to yourself, explain the things that you just read. You can even share it with the flowers outside. Share it with your teddy bear or with your dog. Many of us don't have somebody that close except our dog or a cat. Who knows? Just share it with that person. Not that they're going to respond or anything, but at least you're getting the information out and you're talking it, so you're able to see if it's making sense. Alright, now our next tip, which is number 3, is watch, listen, and do. Now they say that some people are visual learners, some are auditory learners, and some people are tactile learners, which just really means that you like to do things. Whatever the case might be, watch a video, listen to an audio tape, and if push comes to shove, what you do is you go out there and you make something, make a circuit, pull down the engine of a car and put it back together, whatever it is, because you're going to be practicing like that, you're going to be learning the information like that, and when it comes to your exam, you're able to reproduce that information. Now, under this heading as well, I want to point out that because you have been exposed to the information in 3 ways, it's much easier for you to understand and also remember that information, and therefore you'll be able to reproduce it in an exam. So watch, see, watch, hear, and do. So the next one now is the use of memory tools like mnemonics. This thing is so wonderful because you are relating the information that you have to real life situations, the things that you come across. I remember when I was in about grade 2 or something of that nature, my teacher told me that I comes before E except after C, and I've never forgotten that. So every time I see a word where you have I and E together, I know if I comes before E except after C, And then there's another one which says if 2 vowels are walking, the second one does the talking. Like in hemoglobin, H-A-E, so it's hemoglobin, Or like psychology where it's P-S, so the second one does the talking, even though those are not vowels. But mnemonics are very helpful because they make the information relatable. Now, if you're a chemistry student, I have one which I made up, which works for me, for the elements 21 to 30. Schools that venture across Marysfield can never cure Zika. That's what I've been using since university days, and it helps me to remember the elements 21 to 30 in the periodic table. Alright, so mnemonics are very helpful, and you can use those in your studies as well. Now, our next step is that you must be the examiner. Now, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by be the examiner? It's simple. Be the person who's writing the question. Ask yourself the question. If I were to be testing myself, what would I ask myself for the information that I just read? And then what you'll find is that you're going to start coming up with questions based on the information. And you'll be very pleasantly surprised that when you go to your exam, you're finding that those questions are being asked as well. And you'll be very prepared, because you would have asked yourself these things before, and therefore you're much better able to pass your exam. Alright, so be the examiner. Ask yourself those questions and write them down too. Okay, our next step, know the exam format. This is extremely important. Exams are not a secret. This is 2020, come on. You can go on the internet and find the format of any exam that you're doing. You can find a tutor for an exam that you're doing. So therefore, it is important that you know the format of the exam. You know how much time is required to do each question, the types of questions coming in each section, and the number of sections, as well as other things. Okay, so that is very important that you know those things. And what you do is you prepare for the exam based on the format of the exam. What's the point? The point is you're trying to pass your exam. You're not trying to look pretty, so to speak. You're trying to pass your exam. And you should try to do that by means necessary. I won't say any means necessary, but by means necessary. So therefore, know the format of your exam. Alright, this is very important in going forward in doing your exams. So our 7th and final tip is be self-aware. I know it sounds like something out of the Matrix, but all we're really saying is that you need to know what works best for you. Am I an auditory learner? Am I a visual learner? Am I a tactile learner? Or am I a mixture of the 3? Would it work best if I just go and make the model, or do I read about the model? You need to know what works best for you. Now, there are tests online that you could do to help you in that regard, but you need to know it and work on it in preparing for your exams. Okay, so these are our 7 tips that we have found to be very effective in helping people to pass their exams. Please, if you have any other tips which are effective in studying, then leave a comment below. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, G Squared Academy, where excellence is epitomized. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. All the best in your exams.